man, I can't wait to hear with this guy. Let me tell you something. He did something last month, April the 20th, that's still stuck in my spirit. And his call was the guide to building a successful MLM business. And it's still in my spirit. It was April 20th. That message last week was great, but that just stuck with me. I'm just saying. Well, without further ado, he hails from the island. He saw the planes leaving his country. He said, one day I'm gonna leave this country. I'm gonna go to the United States of America. He jumped finally, July 9th of 2002, he jumped on an aeroplane, avion, Espanol, on an airplane and went into Baltimore, Maryland. Landed there, kind of like Coming to America movie. He landed in Baltimore. Some of y'all caught that. He landed in Baltimore area and decided to get a job at Applebee's. And then he discovered that he could make more money with his mouth and conversation than he could flipping burgers. And so he got started at the right young age of 20 years old. Now think about this, 20 years old. He's 28 years old. He just made 29 on March the 6th. We both have the same birthday month, and that's why I keep track of him pretty much. I watched this young man's success when he got started, blew up the business, was on all the charts, just was killing it. And his organization decided they could do better without him. And then he started all over again. And that's why I have so much respect for him. Without further ado, the great regional vice president will probably be the youngest SVP ACN has, none other than Shakeel Cooper.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm excited to be here. I'm actually getting ready to fly back out tonight. So I've been super busy just traveling, but I'm excited. I was able to put together a training today that I think will help a lot of people. But before I do go into today's training, I do want to thank you, Mr. Thomas, for allowing me to be a speaker on today's call. I'm always excited to be on here. And I also want to thank everyone that took time out of their busy schedule to get on a call today. So really quickly, my name is Shakeel Cooper. I'm currently 29 years old. Got involved in this business at 20 years old, no business background, knew nothing about business. But what I knew was that I had to own my own business, but I wasn't able to have the capital at 20 years old to start my own business. I remember I wanted to start like a car wash, but you still need the money. So when ACN came around, I was like, oh, this is affordable, got started. And I haven't had to work a job since November 2013. So it's been almost 9 years since the last time I had to punch a clock. And I've just been able to do this full time and, just be able to be free and just do all the things that I really wanted to do. So enough about me, more about you guys today. So what I'm going to do is share my screen and we're going to go right into the information. So today I want to talk about the 3 essential qualities that's required for turning your real life into your dream life. Because everybody, again, if you wasn't on a call last week, I talked about, living your dreams. So the 3 essential qualities that's required, number 1 is delusion, number 2, persistence, and number 3, gratitude. So delusion, what that does, it gives you the faith that when there's absolutely nothing, like there's nothing to believe in, right? That shows you that what you're doing is the right thing. So you have to trick yourself to make yourself believe that no matter what's going on right now in my life, I'm still going to accomplish my dream life. Number 2, persistence. And what that does is that it provides the strength to keep going. And then number 3 is gratitude. It will allow you to appreciate all that you have achieved, all your achievements, no matter how big it is, big or small. And a lot of times, most people, they have a lot of small wins, but they don't celebrate it. And then they wonder why they don't get the big wins, because you have to celebrate the small steps. Because if you celebrate the small steps, I promise you, everything else is going to happen for you. So I always tell myself that no matter what's going on right now, I'm going to get to where I need to go. And I just keep being persistent. Like, as long as you just keep going, it's like trying to stop an ant. If you put something in front of an ant, it's going to go around it, it's going to go over it. No matter what, it's not going to just stay right there. It's going to try to find a way to get around it. And number 3, gratitude. You just got to be thankful for the chance that you even got an opportunity. Most people don't never get the opportunity that you have. So just being able to see the opportunity, but now that you're able to be a part of it, Just be grateful for that. And what you think about is what you bring about. The positive energy that's generated by your gratitude will yield more blessings, and you will see that your dream will continually unfold. And you, all you gotta do is get out your way. So in ACN and network marketing, and no matter what you do, you can even start your own business. If you don't have these essential qualities, you're not going to be successful for a long time, because everyone can have some type of spark. Everyone can have their seasons, but at the end of the day, we plan on building something long term. So you have to have this for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. What if it takes you 25 years? See, I tell people, don't focus on the time that it takes. Just continue doing what you need to do. And I promise you, when you look up, you're going to be right there. Also, what I love about the business is that it changed my mind when it came to finance. And I know a lot of people don't like talking about money, but everything that we do, it goes back to making money. If you work a job, you're working a job to make money to pay the bills. If you start a business, whatever the case may be, but people don't understand that every financial decision that a person makes, it makes sense to them in the moment, and they check off all of the boxes in their head. And they also tell themselves a story about why they're doing what they're doing. And that story has been shaped by their own unique experiences. And you might be asking, what do that mean? So what that means is this, right? When most people think about money, there's some people that think there's not a lot of money in the world. So they have a scarcity mindset. So they're always just in a mode where it's like they're always scared, they're very timid. And then there's some people that think about it in an abundance way. So whatever story that you tell yourself about finance is what you're going to manifest in the real world. For example, right? So you want to think about your goal in a relaxed, positive way, and you want to picture yourself in your mind that you already achieved that goal. So the way I look at life is that I'm already where I want to be. I just tell myself that every single day. Like, it's, you literally have to trick your mind to tell your mind that you're already where you need to be. And you have to already feel that way. Start living that way. Start tipping like you're wealthy. One of the things that I learned from Jim Rohn, one of my first mentors, he said, tip like the rich. So when I go out, I always try to tip people. I might see a little kid sitting by the gas station, just give them $10. Like, just always tipping people. And because I'm always tipping people like I'm wealthy and giving away like I'm wealthy and not holding on to things, thinking that I can't get it again or whatever the case may be, more things just continue to come to me. And it's kind of like information. The more information and the more you help people and the more that you share your experience with people, the more life is going to give you more experiences and things like that in order to share. So you can't just hold on to everything. So what I tell you is that you got to have a big dream, and your dream have to be where it involves helping other people, because it can't be about yourself. Because if it's about yourself, you're going to quit when it get hard. See, I have a son. He's about to be 5. I can't quit even if I wanted to quit, because I have a kid to take care of. So you have to have the mindset that you have to do whatever it takes to get to where we need to get to. And ACN, to me, is very simple. All you got to do is do the simple things over a period of time. And once you look up, you're going to have that system where your team is going to outgrow you. You're not even going to be able to know everyone that's in your organization. You couldn't control it if you wanted to. Don't everyone on this call want a business where you can't even control it if you wanted to? Because that's the type of business that I have today. I don't know most of the people in my organization. When I see them at events, I'm like, hi, I'm excited. But at the same time, I remember when I knew everyone. So at the end of the day, your ultimate goal is to build a business so that where my background that you see right now, which is not real, which I wish it was, that can be every day. See, I told myself that I want to get to a point where I work 2 weeks out of the month and vacation 2 weeks out of the month. I want to do that every month for the rest of my life. Because at the end of the day, that's my dream. Why not be able to work when you're on an island or you're halfway across the country? You should be able to do that. But most people don't believe it because they know that if you just have the mindset of a 9 to 5 and you're just trying to get by, then you know you can't travel the world because you only have vacation maybe 2 weeks out of the year. So at the end of the day, it's all about your dream. You could choose to dream big, you could choose to dream small. But no matter what, if you don't have a dream, you're really not going to be successful in anything that you want to do, because at the end of the day, it all comes down to your dream, how much you want it. So this right here, it made a lot of sense, right? Think about it, right? When you think of the human brain, right? I remember listening to this one, it's called The Strangest Secret, right? And he was talking about basically like the human brain is the last great unexplored continent in the world, because they said that the average person only use about 10% of their brain. But when you think about it, it really makes sense, because by the show of hands, whoever heard of the quote that the graveyard is like the wealthiest place on earth? Because that's where many dreams go, meaning that there's a lot of people that go and they never took the chance to go out there and achieve their dreams. So again, you don't want to be like those people that just lived their whole entire life and never made the decision to say, you know what, I'm going to do what I need to do. Because what I learned is that as people get older, they start to regret life more. Because if you don't do the things that you want to do, when you look at other people that's younger than you that's doing it, it kind of make you question, man, why didn't I do this when I was younger? Because I hear it all the time. People tell me, man, I wish I was your age. I'm like, you know, hey, man, I don't know what to tell you, because at the end of the day, age doesn't matter. You could be 80 or 18 years old. It doesn't take long to change your life, but it's a mindset. You know, you got to change your mindset, because your mind is where all of the riches are, because you can literally do and have anything you want to. It's just like a plant. Listen, if you go outside, you plant a seed and you water it, over time, guess what's going to happen? You're going to get a fruit. And most people don't understand that. Listen, when you think about life, right? We eat food every single day, and we can agree that food doesn't happen overnight. I don't care if it's meat or I don't care if it's vegetables. It doesn't happen overnight. It took months. It took months in order to get that. So why do most people think that everything in life is a microwave? So no, it's just like planting a seed, right? And we become what we think about. And a person who is thinking about a concrete and worldwide goal is going to reach it, because that's what he's thinking about. And we become what we think about. So I always talk about becoming rich. Like I told myself, I'll be rich. Like, I don't care. I speak it every single day, because it's going to happen. It is what it is. I don't care what most people around me think. I talk about becoming wealthy and a multi-millionaire every single day, because guess what? If I don't think about it, I'm not going to become it. So whatever, listen, if you want to be an SVP, you want to own your own company, whatever you want to do, listen, you got to speak it every day. You got to think about it every single day. Because if you don't think about it every single day, you're not going to become it. So on the other hand, the man who has no goals, who doesn't know where he's going, listen, his thoughts are confusion, anxiety, and fear and worry. So guess what? He becomes what he think about. And people like that, guess what they do? Nothing. His life is just frustration, fear, anxiety, worry. And if he think about nothing, guess what he becomes? Nothing. So again, if you're sitting around, you're scared, you're confused about what you want to do or what's the next step to get to your business, the way you're trying to get it to, listen, you got to get out of that fear. You got to get out of that confusion and stop being scared about what people think about what you're doing. Your goal is just to share the business. Listen, I got an opportunity. Either you want it or you don't. On to the next. Just look at it as when you see a homeless person on the side of the road asking people for money, right? If one person tell them no, guess what they do? They go tell the other person. They don't sit there and try to tell you a story about why you should give them any money. They just go to the next person. So you got to have the same mindset, right? From there, you will see that the very law that gives us success is like a two-edged sword, right? Because we must control our thinking. The same rule that can lead a man to a life of success, wealth, happiness, and all of the things that he ever dreamed of for himself and for his family is the same laws that can lead him into the gutter. Meaning that, listen, you can either think that you will be successful or you can think that you will be poor. Because at the end of the day, what I realized, and I was just talking to my stepdad about it last night, I'm like, man, it's really all about a mindset. Because if someone like me can come from another country at 9 years old and figure out how this whole entire system worked, and by 20 years old, just went out there, made it happen, and been able to live the American dream for the past almost 10 years. And there's most people that's been here for generations and can't figure it out. To me, it's mind blowing. I'm like, how don't you see it? There's so much opportunity in America that people become paralyzed about what they want to do because there's so much to do. But I tell people this all the time, it's better to do something than nothing. It's better to do something than nothing, because why would you continue to watch people that no business background, knew anything about business, but they come into the land of opportunity and take advantage of an opportunity? When I hear people complain about how bad America is, well, go to China or any of these other countries and try to be successful and tell me how does that work out? Because I know that America is a place that everybody's trying to come to. Everybody's trying to come to America. Why? Because you actually have a chance to make it happen, but it's all about how you look at things, right? So you can use it for good or you can use it for bad. From there, as I stated earlier, the power of leverage can be used you abuse or fear, meaning that your word, listen, your words is what shape your reality, right? So you'll find out that, listen, most people, right, when they speak, they talk poor. They always said, listen, I can't afford this. I can't do this. I can't, I'm not going to be this. Like ahead every single day. I can't. I'm like, man, you know how rare it is to hear somebody say, I can do something? When I hear that, I'm like, man, you stand out, because the average person every single day, they always talk about what they can't do instead of just saying, I can do it. And just by saying, I can do it, you're going to trigger something in your mind that pushes you to want to do it. But the moment you can't do something, it shuts down your brain, and your brain not even thinking about how can you do it, because you keep telling yourself, I can't do something. Remove the word can't from your vocabulary. Start triggering your mind saying, man, I can do that. Because if you just say it every single day that you can do anything that you put your mind to, guess what's going to happen? One day you wake up, everything that you speak, you will get. So again, either you want to speak the good or you want to speak the bad. But I promise you, it's better to speak great things over your life than speaking negative. You don't want to be that person that speak poor, because guess what? Poor people keep people poor. One big difference between the rich and the poor is that poor people say, I can't afford it more often than rich people. Listen, if you didn't write that down, I don't know what to tell you. And this is really the only difference. One big difference between the rich and the poor is that the poor people say, I can more often than the rich people. Poor people use poor words, and poor words create poor people. Your words do become flesh. And listen, this is true. I'm not making this up. I'm just telling you the reality. Poor people keep people poor. If I'm poor, I can't help the poor. So you can't become one of the poor and try to help the poor. So you got to be different. So again, change your financial future by what? Changing the words that you use and the way that you think. Change your words and your thoughts to the rich. They think different. I'm telling you, wealthy people think different. For me, being around them, I'm like a fly on the wall. I study people. Wealthy people, they think different, they dress different, they act different, how they shop is different. Everything about them is different compared to the poor and the middle class. There's just different people, right? And as far back as I can remember, right, I've always had a pure, undiluted confidence. So at the end of the day, that plays a major role. You got to have confidence. Listen, I was confident in myself before I even knew myself. And this is one thing that most people, they care about how people are going to perceive them. Listen, I don't care what you think about me. I'm not going to down my confidence to make you feel better about your situation. No, I'm going to keep being confident, because at the end of the day, if I don't have my confidence, I don't have anything, because that's the driving force to everything that I do. You got to feel as though you're the best at anything. You can do the best. You look the best. You dress the best. You work the hardest. Like, it's about that confidence that you are the best at whatever you do. Even if you're not that person, that's how you got to think every single day. You got to think that you're your number one fan, and to win, you got to get out your own way. You got to decide to be your biggest obstacle or your biggest fan. You can either be your biggest obstacle or your biggest fan, but the secret is being able to ride out a time between when you're the only one who believes in what's in your head is actually going to come to fruition. And the moment when it actually does, that period when everything can go left, it can make the most confident person doubtful. I've been doubtful at times too when it got dark, but guess what? You got to have that confidence. I just turned it back on, and now you can't tell me anything. Because if you don't have that turned on, that confidence, that posture, people are not going to follow you, and they're not going to believe in you, because the average person is very timid. People only follow people that have a backbone, not a wishbone, right? So that's where most people lose at. They don't lose to a competitor or somebody else in the industry or their boss. They lose to themselves. They lose to what they tell themselves every single day. They tell themselves they can't do it. And people always think about, listen, what other people think about you has nothing to do with you. It's only what you think about you that has everything to do with you. So again, defeating your own self-doubt will be the biggest obstacle to overcome. And that's all I got for you guys today. So I hope you guys was able to get something from today's training, and I look forward to being back next week.